welcome. You can't spin me when I'm 3D. Also, Happy New Year! Yeah! I have a thing. Yeah. Let me go back. Happy New Year! The first yeah, it is the first Brady stream of the year. And it's a reading one. Very good. Pipe bomb! It's a pipe bomb! Happy New Year! I hope you guys had a good New Year. I did. I did a quiz with my friends, and then we did some VR karaoke. I dragged them all into VR chat, and it was great. Welcome, everyone! Welcome, Exton. Welcome, Super A. Welcome, Rahel. Rick. Welcome, the Humble Star. Welcome, Old Size Phantom. Welcome, Nimby. What quiz? My friend made a quiz, a 2025 centric quiz. Supposed to be like a parody of the big fat quiz of the year. That's what it was. Hello, Scholars of Iron. Starting year streaming with another Arthur Shenanigans special. Yeah! The weather. It snowed today. Not in here though. We are in, so before we start, just because this is a very nice VR world we're in, so I need to give it, proper credit. We're in the Leaf-bound library, as you can see by this magical book I just summoned out of nowhere. This is the library part of it. Well, there's more library part of it, but let me show you over here. We got tree, pretty tree, and all sorts of stuff. It's a very nice one. Let me just get the book away so you can see. It's very pretty, very pretty. Might have a proper tour later. Hide from you. This is my lurking emote. Oh, hi. Anyway, sorry. Let's get back to it, shall we? Let's get back to eco-friendly Christian church approved. Yeah! Book wait, no, not really book time. Very look. Yes, that's exactly what it was. It's the lurk. We do have some. I forgot about this. 100 books. We need to add some more books. We need to start our 2026 books. But I need to change something on it first before I show it, because I've been working on a thing. Because, well, as you may have seen the schedule I put up for next week. We're gonna do a year in review next week. So I've been slowly putting together the tomorrow even. Tomorrow! So I've been putting together the thing for that. Yes, SCP reading next week too. I promised. It was voted for, finally. So we'll be doing that next week. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 comic books to add. Issued comic books being the backbone of me getting through this. 308 is Ghost Pepper issue 5 comic. Now I assume it's by the same people. Series 20. I technically did read this in 2025, but I've already drawn a line for 2025, so this now counts as 2026. It's going in the thing on 2026, so I'm calling it 2026. We won't be reading an SCP book specifically. What I tend to do with when I did Patreon exclusive and membership exclusives, I would just go on the website and we'd read some random ones, basically. If you have any recommendations of SCPs you would like me to read, please feel free to put them in the suggestion box, in the Discord, or maybe in the comments of a video or something. Or maybe in the comments of that, like, the post. The schedule post. That would be a good place to put it too. Because if you tell me now, I will just forget. Steak presents Just Me issue 2. I love reading random SCP logs. I love it when you're reading a random ones and then you kind of get sucked in and you just keep like following links and finding random stuff. It's great. Hello, Dread Excalibur. It's a me stream. 2026. It's a book me stream, the first one of the year. Da 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 da. It's 2026, Bryony. She's no different. She's the same mess you've come to love. Supernatural comic, not the TV. Issue 2. Let's see. Again, mine should be this. Well, I say it's the same guys. This book actually swapped art styles halfway through multiple times. And its list of writers and cover artists is actually very, very, very long. So I'm just gonna copy and paste that. Is book time? I think it's a good omen, you know, to start the year on a book stream. Supernatural has a UK version now, right? I don't think so. At least not Supernatural itself. We've had TV shows that have like supernatural themes, but 311? Nope. That is 309. 309. 310. 311. Thank you. Let's not take away 100. Good Omens? Yes, that's a good one. Being Human, I'd probably say is... It's not quite the same, but it's sort of... It's supernaturally in the... A werewolf, a vampire, and a ghost live together. Trinity... Daughter... of Wonder Woman... Issue 6, and the final one, which makes me really sad because it's been so good. This is 100% one of my favorite comic books, like, ever, because this artist is so very wonderful at drawing people's expressions, and drawing corgis is good. I had a friend who loved Being Human way back. It was a good show. I can't say I didn't get a little obsessed with it at the time. No Place, issue 2. No Place Like Home. No place. A lot of places have flying monkeys, is what that book has taught me. Flying monkeys just happen a lot. This year is hopefully the year I read more. For Christmas, I got gifted some books. Oh, I hope so. I hope you get around to it, Dears. It is hard. I feel like there's so many distractions in life. It's hard to find, like, a good time to, like, actually sit down and read. Supernatural issue 3 comic. This one also had the art style change, which was weird, but you know. Lots of progressive. And books can be really intimidating. Like, especially if they're a little bit fat, you're like, oh no, oh no. But I believe in you. I believe in your book prowess. May you read many things this year. May you all read many. May I read? May you read many things this year. Or you could be like me and cheat and just read a lot of comic books. This has been terrible ever since the local comic book shop opened up. This is all blooming comics. You hear static? I think that's VR chat. Do you hear it now? Let me know. I know what you mean. My copy of bloody Bloomedarian keeps intimidating me into giving him attachment. Playing inside my head like it's inside my head. It's gone. Yes. Yeah, that was in fact VR chat. It seems to be the ambient noise in the library here for some reason. I don't know why that's what they chose it to be, but they did. I can hear myself a little bit and I hate it. But I think that's my mixer, not me. I have an Sorry, hit the mic with my headset again. I have an audio mixer now. Aren't I so professional? Not that I know how to use it very well. So 313. How many? I need a calculator. 10,000. Take 313 is 9,687 left. It was very unpleasant, and I do apologize. Well, it's gone now. I chased it away. She's fixing her scarf on the fly! Yeah. It is a little quiet, though. Can I, BG's music? Yeah! Let's have some background music. Yay. Beautiful. Righto. Quick drink. Quick refill of said drink. My mic's a little quiet. I do apologize for these scuffs. I think I need to up the gain a little bit. Gain! Gain, 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 gain. But thank you for pointing out anything like this. Like I said, I got a new mic for Christmas, so we're still somewhat figuring it out. If you can hear the... then you know it's right. Chapter 5. Sir Balin smites the Dolorous stroke. The fights with his brother, Sir Balin. Inochi. Oh, hi, Inochi. Welcome. Long time no hoot. Indubitably hoot hoot. Ah, is my BGM too loud? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Balin is gonna be ballin'. But now there's no BGM. She's having some audio issues, but it's okay. We're figuring it out. Now there was a knight at the court. There was a knight at the court more envious than the others of Sir Balin, for he counted himself one of the best knights in Britain. His name was Lancier, not Lancer. And going to the king, he begged leave to follow after Sir Balin to avenge the insult he had put upon the court. Do thy best, replied the king, for I am passing wroth with Balin. In the meantime came Merlin, and was told of his adventure of the sword and the lady of the lake. Now hear me, said he, when I tell ye that this lady who hath brought the sword with is the falsest damsel living. Oh my! We thought it was best that you find a lady with a sword for yourself, but she may be a false damsel, everyone. Yep, no Lancelot yet. We keep thinking that we might find a Lancelot, but he is not a Lancelot. There is no Lancelot here. We're not French enough yet. Say not so, they answered, for she hath a brother, a good knight, who slew another knight, his damsel loved. So she, to be revenged upon her brother, went to the Lady Lael of Avilion, and besought her help. Then Lady Lael gave her the sword, and told her that no man should draw it forth but one, a valiant knight and strong, who should avenge her brother, who should avenge her on her brother. This, therefore, was the reason why the damsel came here. I know it all too well, as ye do, answered Merlin, and would to God she had never come hither, for never she came into any company but to do harm. And that good knight, who hath achieved the sword, shall be himself slain by it, which shall be great harm and loss, for a better knight there liveth not. Bop, bop, bop. Sorry, testing something. I don't want to hear myself. I'm hearing myself more. I don't want to hear myself more. La la la. I can't hear myself. Wonderful. That's for you guys to do, not me. Then Sir Lancier. Damsels and avenging. Just another day for Arthur the Baller. Or Balin the Baller. He's the one. Well, Balin's gonna die by the sword he just earned, apparently. Yes, I don't want to hear me. That's for you. This is my voice is your gift, not mine. Then Sir Lancier, having armed himself at all points, mounted and rode after Sir Balin as fast as he could. Go and overtake him, he cried aloud. Abide, Sir Knight. Wait yet a while, or I shall make thee do so. Hearing him cry, Sir Balin fiercely turned his horse, and said, Fair knight, what wilt thou with me? Wilt thou joust? Yea! Yes, said Sir Lancier. It is for that I have pursued thee. Peradventure, answered Balin, thou hadst best have stayed at home. For many a man who thinketh himself already victor endeth by his own downfall. Of what court art thou? Of King Arthur's court, cried Lancier, and I am come to revenge the insult thou hast put on it this day. Hydrate, will do. Well, said Sir Balin, I see that I must fight thee, and I repent to be obliged to grieve King Arthur or his knights. And thy quarrel seemeth full foolish to me, for the damsel that is dead worked endless evils through the land, or else I had been loth to any knight that liveth to have slain a lady. Oh my, you slain the lady. Make thee ready, shouted Lancier, for one of us shall rest forever in this field. But at their first encounter, Sir Lancier's spear flew into splinters from Sir Balin's shield, and Sir Balin's lance pierced with such might through Sir Lancier's shield that it rove the hauberk also, and passed through the knight's body, and the horse's crupper. And Sir Balin, turning fiercely round again, drew out his sword, and knew not that he had already slain him. And then he saw him lie a corpse upon the ground. At that same moment came a damsel riding towards him as fast as her horse could gallop, who, when she saw Sir Lancier dead, wept and sorrowed out of measure, crying, O Sir Balin, 2 bodies hast thou slain, and 1 heart, and 2 hearts in 1 body, and 2 souls also hast thou lost. Drama! Therewith she took the sword from her dead lover's side, for she was Sir Lancier's lady love, and setting the pommel of it on the ground, ran herself through the body with the blade. Oh my. My familiarity with King Arthur, unfortunately, comes from the thing. When everyone mentions King Arthur, I think of a blonde anime girl. Correct! I am the same, Lost Argonaut. I am very much the same. So we're learning today from a different source. But you can still imagine it as fake characters. I know I do. Such a drama mama. Play. She died on her husband's sword. Well, they said lady love, so I don't know if they're married or not. When Sir Balin saw her dead, he was sorely hurt and grieved in spirit, and repented the death of Lancier, which had also caused so fair a lady's death. And being unable to look on their bodies for sorrow, he turned aside into a forest, where presently, as he rode, he saw the arms of his brothers, Sir Balin, and the arms of his brother Sir Balin, and when they were met, they put off their helmets and embraced each other, kissing and weeping for joy and pity. See, men can kiss in a friend way. Men can kiss if they're related. Apparently. Smooches! Smooches for your brothers! Mwah! Then Sir Balin told Sir Balan. I'm gonna really say Balan here, because I feel like if I say Balin and Balin, it's just gonna be too platonic tongue kissing between the homies. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! Then Sir Balin told Sir Balan all his late adventures, and that he was on his way to King Greece. I didn't get that pronunciation at all. Who at the time was besieging Castle Terrible. I will be with thee, answered Sir Balan, and we will help each other, as brethren ought to. Anon, by chance, as they were walking, came King Mark of Cornwall by that way, and when he saw the two dead bodies of Sir Lancier and his lady lying there, who doesn't even get a name, she's just there, and heard the story of their deaths, he vowed to build a tomb to them before he left the place. And this random roaming king came along and saw the bodies and was like, don't worry, I will deal with the bodies and we will honor them, even though you just kind of murdered them and one of them committed suicide. You know. I love this. So pitching his pavilion there, he sought through all the country around to find a monument, and found at last a rich and fair one in a church, which he took and raised above the dead knight and his damsel, writing on it, and he just stole a monument from a church? Here lieth Lancier, son of the King of Ireland, who, at his own request, was slain by Balin, and here beside him also lieth his lady, she has a name, Colombi, who slew herself with her lover's sword for grief and sorrow. Colonization 101. Just medieval things. Hello, Brathian. Yes, the logo on the table is very important. It's me. And it says, it's reading time. It says it all over this box. It's my wonderful summonable box. So I can stream in any VR world. Because I could just go, la 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 la. No box, no stream. Bah! I want a bit closer. Box. Yay, box. Box, 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 box. Box machina. Anyway. Where were we? Look at me go. Mastering technologies. Except for this microphone. That one, I have requested the help of a friend with the microphone. But we need to wait till we're both free. He's very good. They're very good with, stuff. Didn't even notice the box. Too distracted by the cute girl. This was going to be a stream in actual VR, by the way. I borrowed my dad's VR headset. But the problem is, Even though I had it charging, I don't think my charger was plugged in properly, so it doesn't have enough charge to last the stream, which is a bit sad. But next time, we'll have a full, proper VR stream. I will master the mic soon. I want to master the mic because I want to be able to do silly things like change my pitch and whatnot. I want to do funny voices when I read. That is the goal. That is the dream. Then, as Sir Balin and Sir Balan rode away, Merlin met with them, and said to Sir Balin, "Thou hast done thyself great harm not to have saved that lady's life who slew herself, and because of it thou shalt strike the most dolorous stroke that ever man struck, save he that smote our Lord. For thou shalt smite the truest and most worshipful of living knights, who shall not be recovered from his wounds for many years, and through that stroke 3 kingdoms shall be overwhelmed in poverty and misery." Thanks for the prophecy, Merlin. "If I believed," said Balin, what thou sayest, "I would slay myself to make thee a liar." Balin, you have been called one of the best knights, living knights. I think that's what it's referring to. At that, Merlin vanished suddenly away, but afterwards he met them in disguise towards night, and told them he could lead them to King Rience, who they sought. For this night he is to ride with 60 lances only through a wood hard by. Sir Balin and Sir Balan hid themselves within the wood, and at midnight came out from their ambush among the leaves by the highway, and waited for the king, whom presently they heard approaching with his company. Then did they suddenly leap forth, and smote him, and overthrew him, and laid him... Leap forth and smote him, and overthrow him, and lay him... This would never get past editing. And lay him to the ground, and turning on his company, wounded, and slew 40 of them, and put the... it didn't even finish. And put the rest to fight, and returning to King Rience, they would have slain him there, but a different connecting word. He craved mercy, and yielded to their grace, crying, "Knights full of prowess, slay me not, for by my life ye may win something, but my death can avail ye naught." "Ye say truth," said the 2 knights. I'll stop with the end. "And put him in a horse litter, and went swiftly through all the night, till at cock-crow they came to King Arthur's palace. There they delivered him to the wardens and porters, to be brought before the king, with this message." I have returned. You just missed a lot of ands. So many ands. Would never get past it. Never, ever, ever. Hoot, hoot. I don't know why I put that in my head. There were so many ants. So many ants. Where was it? It started like here. And then... So we got like one sentence here, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ands in it. And then the next sentence starts with an and too. 6 ands in one sentence is stupid. Stupid. Alright, our prose has much improved since then. What is it? Sir James Knowles and Sir Thomas Valley? Is that your names? Milleroy, these guys. Just because you're knighted doesn't mean you're good at writing, okay? That he was sent to King Arthur by the Knight of the Two Swords, for so was Balin known by name since his adventure with the damsel, and by his brother, and so they rode again ere sunrise. Me when I'm getting paid 5 shillings per act. Within a month or two thereafter, King Arthur, being somewhat sick, and went forth outside the town, and had his pavilion pitched in a meadow, and there abode, and laid him down on a pallet to sleep. But he could get no rest, and as he lay he heard the sound of a great horse, and looking out of the tent door, saw a knight ride by, making great lamentations. "Abide, fair sir," said King Arthur, "and tell me wherefore thou makest this sorrow." "Ye may little amend it," said the knight, and so passed on. Presently after Sir Balin rode by chance past that meadow, and when he saw the king, he alighted and came to him on foot, and kneeled and saluted him. "By my head," said King Arthur, "ye be welcome, Sir Balin." And then he thanked him very heartily for avenging him upon King Rience, and for sending him so speedily a prisoner to his castle, and told him how King Nero, Rience's brother, had attacked him afterwards to deliver King Rience from prison, and how he had defeated him and slain him, and also King Lot of Orkney, who was joined with Nero, and whom King Pellinore had killed in the battle. Then, when they had thus talked, King Arthur told Sir Balin of the sullen knight that had just passed his tent, and desired him to pursue him and bring him back. When zoning out, this book sounds like, "Thou shalt and for search thy bespeechments, Sir Balin went forth and did his..." Yeah, pretty. This has gotta be probably one of the worst books we've read on the channel. Yeah, probably one of. I don't even know if we'll get to the end of this. This is not. I want to know about the legends of King Arthur and Duh. So Sir Balin rode and overtook the knight in a forest with a damsel, and said, "Sir knight, thou must come back with me unto my lord King Arthur, and tell him the cause of thy sorrows, which thou hast refused even now to do." "That I shall not," replied the knight, "for it would harm me much, and do him no advantage." Your first video of the channel, yay! You get the worst book so far! It's fine. We have fun anyway. It just means we might reroll. We might reroll for a new book at some point. Maybe. Just means I get singing now. "Sir," said Sir Balin, "I pray thee make ready, for thou must needs go with me, or else I must fight with thee, and make thee by force." "How dare you not tell the king while you're sad? I'm gonna fight you for The king wishes to give you therapy. You may not ignore it." Yay! I'm glad you're enjoying it. The book is a little scuffed. King Arthur, medieval psychiatrist. Yup. He doesn't have well, what's the word? He doesn't have a license, but he doesn't care. He's the king. He gets to say who has a license. We're here to have fun. There are worse books we could read. We'd probably find a few better. That's true. This isn't the worst book I've had to read. The worst book was before I got to the Forbidden Library, I think, was the worst book. And that was Tom Swift and his motorcycle. And I had to stop because of the blatant old-timey racistness. It was not good. Not good. So at least it's not that. It's just badly written. Guys would rather get into a brutal sword fight than go to therapy. Not me. I pay good money for my therapist, so I totally talk to King Arthur. Yeah! King Arthur therapy! He was really racist to his motorcycle, he was. Wilt thou be warrant for safe conduct, if I go with thee? Inquired the knight. Yea, surely, answered Balin. I will die, else. So the knight made ready to go with Sir Balin, and left the damsel in the wood. Dear, I'm off to see the king. You go sit in the woods by yourself, okay? I'm sure it will be fine. What? I love this. But as they went, there came one visible and smote the knight. As they went, there came one invisible and smote the knight through the body with a spear. What does it mean invisible? Alas, cried Sir Hercules, for he was fucking love this. Alas, cried this character we've never heard of. Oh, by the way, that's the character that I just haven't named yet. That's so stupid. Oh, lordy Lou. I am slain under thy guard and conduct by that traitor knight called Garland, who through magic and witchcraft riddeth invisibility. Oh, so there came one invisible. It was a knight under invisible magic. This is written the exact same way I tell stories in 3rd grade. It's wonderful and terrible. Oh, Jake. DM when you ask an NPC name. Correct. Take, therefore, my horse, which is better than thine. Just so you know. It's like when you write things. You can start here. There's always an improvement to be made. But this is too... maybe I'm stereotyping here. But 2 old farts that thought they knew better than everyone else. As long as you know it's bad. But they probably thought they were the bee's knees doing this. Like, I am knighted. Of course I'm good at writing. Ha ha. Probably. Maybe. I have no idea who these people are. We should Google them. Maybe not right now, though. I am slain! I know, right? I fucking love this dialogue. It's better than thine, and ride to the damsel whom we left, because obviously it was a good idea to leave a woman in the woods on her own, and the quest I had in hand, she will lead thee, and revenge my death when thou best mayest. Oh, I have been killed by an invisible knight, but I somehow know exactly who it is. Knight rhymes with right, so I must be good. Yeah. Ah, it rhymes. I am a poet. I did not know it. I may be dying, but my horse is cooler than you. That I will do, said Sir Balin. May my knighthood, by my knighthood, and so I swear to thee. Then went Sir Balin to the damsel, and rode forth with her, she carrying ever with her the truncheon of the spear, whereat Sir Hercules maybe, I don't know, we're going with that, had been slain, and as they went, a good knight, Perrin de Montbelgard, joined their company, and vowed to take adventure with them wherever so they might go. But presently, as they passed a hermitage fast by a churchyard, came the knight Garland, again invisible, and smote the guy and smote Perrin. Oh no, Perrin! He was our favourite character that totally wasn't just literally just named and then murdered one sentence later. Was it the same sentence? Did we just gain a character and lose them in the same sentence? So same sentence. No, okay. One sentence. This man lasted one sentence. Poor Perrin. Threw the body with a spear, and slew him as he had slain Sir Hercules. Whereat Sir Balin greatly raged, and swore to have Sir Garland's life, whenever next he might encounter and behold him in his bodily shape. Too bad he's always invisible, so he will never behold him in his bodily shape. Anon, he and the hermit buried the good knight Sir Perrin, and rode on with the damsel till they came to a great castle, wherein they were about to enter. But when Sir Balin had passed through the gateway, the portcullis fell behind him suddenly, leaving the damsel on the outer side, with men around her drawing their swords as if to slay her. When he saw that, Balin climbed with eager haste by wall and tower, and leapt into the castle moat, and rushed towards the damsel and her enemies, with his sword drawn to fight and slay them. But they cried out, "Put up thy sword, Sir Knight! We will not fight thee in this quarrel, for we do nothing but an ancient custom of this castle." Then they told him that the lady of the castle was sick, and had lain ill for many years, and might never more be cured, unless she had a silver dish full of the blood of a pure maiden and a king's daughter. Wherefore the custom of the castle was, and never should a damsel pass that way, but she must give a dish full of her blood. Okay. Then Sir Balin suffered them to bleed the One, still don't have a name for this damsel. Two, sure, bleed the bitch. Okay, I guess it's the custom. This is so silly and I love it. Good night, Sir Perrin, we hardly knew ye. Star Trek extras when they're on the bridge at the beginning of the episode. Yes! Our ancient custom to menacingly walk towards helpless damsels with their swords. Yeah. It's sus. Then they rode. No, wait. Bleed the damsel with her own consent, but her blood helped not the lady of the castle. So on the morrow they departed, after right good cheer and rest. Damsel who we won, abandoned in the woods. 2, stabbed us and bled her. 3, don't even know her name. 4, she was apparently supposed to be guiding on a quest. We still don't know what that quest is. So bad. Ah. And they rode 3 or 4 days without adventure, and came at last to the abode of a rich man, who scrumptiously lodged and fed them. And while they sat at supper, Sir Balin heard a noise of someone groaning grievously. "What noise is this?" said he. "Forsooth," said the host, "I will tell you. I was lately at a tournament, and there..." Had to blow my nose. "Forsooth, I will tell you. I was lately at a tournament, and there I fought a knight who is brother to King Pelles, and overthrew him twice. for which he swore to be revenged on me, though my best friend, and so he wounded my son, who cannot be recovered till I have that knight's blood, but he riddeth through witchcraft, always invisibly, and I know not his name. It's Galen! Galen even, not Galen! It's Garlabald! I mean Galen! I mean Good God. What is names? Right on the cusp of being important enough to name, and then discarded. Yup. Ah, said Sir Balin, I know him. His name is Garland, and he hath slain 2 knights, companions of mine in the same fashion, and I would rather than all the riches in this realm that I might meet him face to face. Well, said his host, let me now tell thee that King Pelles hath proclaimed in all the country a great festival, to be held at Lisness in 20 days from now, whereto no knight may come without a lady. At that great feast we might perchance find out this Garland, for many will be there, and if it please thee, we shall set forth together. So on the morrow they rode all 3 towards Lisness, and travelled 15 days, and reached it on the day of the feast began. Then they alighted, and stabled their horses, and went up to the castle, and Sir Balin's host was denied entrance, having no lady with him. He was, in fact, maidenless. Hello, Mason, welcome! But Sir Balin was right heartily received, and taken to a chamber where they unarmed him, and dressed him in rich robes of any colour that he chose, and told him he must lay aside his sword. This, however, he refused, and said, it is the custom of my country for a knight to keep his sword ever with him, and if I may not keep it here, I will forthwith depart. Then they gave him leave to wear his sword. So he went to the great hall, and was set among knights of rank and worship, and his lady before him, who still does not have a name. Once I wanted to read the Epic of Gilgamesh to my younger sister because it sounded fun. I had to censor about half of everything, and we barely got maybe a fourth of the way through the book. Crew stopping. Oh, I haven't read the actual one, but I feel like this is a warning not to read it on stream. Absolutely maidenless he is, yes. You just said epic, and now I have epic songs in my head. Thank you. It's a lot weirder than you might think. I know, I feel like I know it. Partly because of Fate, partly because it's a very, very popular, very, very well referenced pop culture song. Song? Epic? Story. Very well referenced story that you feel like you know from cultural osmosis. Soon he found means to ask one who sat near him, is there not here a knight whose name is Garland? Yonder he goeth, said his neighbour, he with that black face. He is the most marvellous knight alive, for he rideth invisibly, and destroyeth whom he will. Ah, well, said Balin, drawing a long breath, is that indeed the man? I have aforetime heard of him. Then he mused long within himself, and thought, if I slay him here and now, I shall not escape myself. But if I leave him, perchance I shall never meet with him again at such an advantage. And if he live, how much more harm and mischief will he do? But while he deeply thought and cast his eyes from time to time upon Sir Garland, that false knight saw that he watched him, and thinking that he could at such a time escape revenge, he came and smote Sir Balin on the face with the back of his hand, and said, Knight, why dost thou so watch me? Be ashamed and eat thy meat, and do that which thou camest for. Thou sayest well. Hello, Choco-chow, welcome. Mischief is a great way to describe a serial murderer. You make a good point. Cried Balin, raising fiercely. Now I will straightway do that which I came to do, as thou shalt find. With that he whirled his sword aloft, and struck him downright on the head, and clove his skull asunder to his shoulders. Give me the truncheon, cried Sir Balin to his lady, wherein he slew thy knight. And when she gave it him, for she had always carried it about with her, whenever she had gone, he smote him through the body with it, and said, With that truncheon didst thou treacherously murder a good knight, and now it sticketh in thy felon body. Felon. Then he called to the father of the wounded son, who had come with him to Lycidas, and said, Now take as much blood as thou wilt to heal thy son withal. But now arose terrible confusion, and all the knights leapt from the table to slay Balin, King Pelles himself the foremost, who cried out, Knight, thou hast slain my brother at my board. Die! Therefore die, for thou shalt never leave this castle. Slay me thyself then, shouted Balin. Yea, said the king, that will I, for no other man shall touch thee, for the love I bear my brother. Then King Pelles, what happened to Balin? Did he die? I can't remember. Anyway. Then Sir King Pelles caught in his hand a grim weapon, and smote eagerly at Balin. But Balin put his sword between his head and the king's stroke, and saved himself, but lost his sword, which fell down, smashed and shivered into pieces by the blow. So being weaponless, he ran to the next room to find a sword, and so from room to room, with King Pelles after him, he in vain ever eagerly casted his eyes around every place to find some weapon. At last he ran into a chamber wondrously richly decked, where was a bed all dressed with cloth of gold, and the richest that could be thought of, and one who lay quite still within the bed. And by the bedside stood a table of pure gold borne on 4 silver pillars. And on the table stood a marvellous spear strangely wrought. When Sir Balin saw the spear, he seized it in his hand, and turned upon Sir King Pelles, and smote him so fiercely and so sore that he dropped swooning to the ground. So Balin pulled out a 9mm Glock and said, Come at me, bro. Basically, yes, that is what happened. Ooh, Pikachu. We like Pikachus. I'm glad you're enjoying this. I like reading to people. Perfect. But at that dolorous and awful stroke, the castle rocked and rove throughout, and all the walls fell, crashed, breaking to the earth. And Balin himself fell, all in their midst, struck as it were to stone, and powerless to move a hand or foot. And so 3 days he lay amidst the ruins, until Merlin came and raised him up, and brought him a good horse, and bade him ride out of that land as swiftly as he could. I may not take the damsel with me I brought hither, said Sir Balin. Lo, where she layeth dead, said Merlin. Ah, little knowest thou, Sir Balin, what thou hast done, for in this castle and that chamber which thou didst defile was the blood of our Lord Christ, and also that most holy cup, the sangreal, wherefrom the wine was drunk at the last supper of our Lord Joseph of Arimathea, brought it to this land, when first he came here to convert and save it. And now on that bed of gold was himself who lay, and thine spear beside him was the spear wherewith the shoals... It was the spear of destiny. The soldier Longus smote our lord, which evermore had drippeth with blood. King Pelles is the nearest king to Joseph in direct descent, wherefore he held these holy things in trust. But now have they all gone at thy dolorous stroke. Yes, Longius. That is exactly what it is. But now have they all gone at that dolorous stroke. No man knoweth whither, and great is the damage to this land, which until now hath been the happiest of all lands. For by that stroke thou hast slain thousands, and by the loss and parting of the Sangreal, and the Holy Grail as well. The Holy Grail, the body of Joseph of Arimathea, and the Spear of Destiny, Longius. There was a lot of holy shit in that room. Holy shit! And the parting of the Sangreal, the safety of this realm is put in peril, and its great happiness is gone evermore. Marking down everything on the list. Sir Balin ruins everything. Yes, that is exactly what we have just read. Sir Balin killed a murderer and ended up ruining the whole of Britain. Britain died. Then Balin departed from Merlin, struck to his soul with grief and sorrow, and said, "In this world shall we meet nevermore?" So he rode forth through the fair cities and the country, and found the people lying dead on every side. And all the living cried out on him as he passed, "O Balin, all this misery hast thou done. For the dolorous stroke thou gavest King Pelles, 3 countries are destroyed, and doubt not, but revenge will fall on thee at last." Britain's dead, no more colonization. Woo! That's a good thing. And all we needed to do is spear a king with a magical stick. When he had passed the boundary of those countries, he was somewhat comforted and rode 8 days without adventure. Anon he came across whereon was written in letters of gold, "It is not for a knight alone to ride towards this castle." Looking up, he saw an hoary ancient man come towards him, who said, "Sir Balin the Savage, thou passest thy bounds this way. Therefore turn back again. It will be best for thee." And with these words he vanished. Then did he hear a horn blow, as it were the death note of some hunted beast. "That blast," said Balin, "is blown for me, and for I am the prey, though yet I be not dead." But as he spoke, he saw 100 ladies with a great troop of knights come forth to meet him, with bright faces and great welcome, who led him to the castle, and made him a great feast with dancing and minstrelsy, and all manner of joy. We got the nails of the crucifixion, shards of the true cross, shroud of Turin, crown of thorns, Ark of the Covenant, Holy Grail, Book of Jasher, and everything, and even a holy hand grenade. They made deaths. Then the chief lady of the castle said, "Knight, with the 2 swords thou must encounter and fight with a knight hard by, who dwelleth on an island, for no man may pass this way without encountering him." "It is a grievous custom," answered Sir Balin. "There is but one knight to defeat," replied the lady. "Well," said Sir Balin, "be it as thou wilt. I am ready and quite willing, and though my horse and my body be full weary, yet is my heart not weary, save of life, and truly I were glad if I might meet my death. Sir, said one standing by, methink your shield is not good. I will lend you a bigger. I thank thee, sir, said Balin, and took the unknown shield, and left his own, and so rode forth, and put himself and horse onto a boat, and came to the island. As soon as he is landed, he saw come riding towards him a knight dressed in all in red, upon a horse trapped in the same colour. When the Red Knight saw Sir Balin and the two swords he wore, he thought it must have been his brother, for the Red Knight was Sir Balin. Just so you know! Just so you know! But when he saw the strange arms on his shield, he forgot the thought, and came against him fiercely. At the first course they overthrew each other, and they both lay swooning on the ground. But Sir Balin was the most hurt and bruised, for he was weary and spent with travelling. So Balin rose up first to his feet and drew his sword, and Sir Balin painfully rose against him and raised his shield. Then Sir Balin smote him through the shield and broke his helmet, and Sir Balin in return smote him with his fated sword, and had well nigh slain his brother. So they fought till their breaths failed. Then Sir Balin, looking up, saw all the castle towers standing full of ladies. So they went again to battle, and wounded each other full sore, and paused and breathed again, and then again began the fight, and for many times they did, till all the ground was red with blood, and by now each had full grievously wounded the other with 7 great wounds, the least of which might have destroyed the mightiest giant in the world. But they still rose against each other, although their hauberks were now all unnailed, and they smiting at each other's naked bodies with their sharp swords. At the last Sir Balin, the younger brother, withdrew a little space and laid him down. Then said Sir Balin the Savage, "What knight art thou? For never before have I fought a knight to match me thus. My name," he said all faintly, "is Sir Balin, brother to the good knight Sir Balin." "Ah, God!" cried Balin, "that ever I should see this day!" and therewith fell down backwards in a swoon. Then Sir Balin crept with pain upon his feet and hands, and to his brother's helmet off his head, but could not know him by his face. It was so hued and bloody, but presently when Sir Balin came to, he said, "O Balin, mine own brother, thou hast slain me, and I thee. All the wide world saw never greater grief. Alas, said Sir Balin, that I ever saw this day, and though mishap alone I knew thee not, for when I saw thy 2 swords, if it had not been for thy strange shield, I should have known thee for my brother. Alas, said Balin, all this sorrow lieth at the door of one unhappy knight within the castle, who made me change my shield. If I might live, I would destroy that castle and its evil customs." Have some good food. "It were all done," said Balin, "for since I first came hither, I have never been able to depart. For here they made me fight with one who kept this island, whom I slew, and by enchantment I might never quit it more, nor couldst thou, brother, hast thou slain me, and escaped with thine own life. So he was, like, fae-trapped. That's why there's a load of ladies up there. Hello, Doppel! My serious apologies, Brady, for my prolonged absence. I've been occupied with the endeavour of updating my curriculum vitae. That is a very important thing. I confess I was quite astonished by the alterations in this format. Over the past 6 years, I conducted a modicum of research, and I'm pleased to report an effective number of improvements. Wonderful! I do hope to conclude the writing of my tale ere I receive the situation's proposition. Yes, wonderful. This is a wonderful rendition. I'm putting my all into this. Even if a book is a bit silly. If a book is silly, you have to be sillier. That's the best way to deal with it. Anon came the lady of the castle, and when she heard their talk and saw their evil case, she wrung her hands and wept bitterly. So Sir Balin prayed the lady of her gentleness that, for his true service, she would bury them both together in that place. This she granted, weeping full sore, and said it should be done right solemnly and richly, and in the noblest manner possible. Then did they send for a priest, and received the holy sacrament at his hands. And Balin said, right over us, upon our tomb, that here two brethren slew each other. Then shall never a good knight or pilgrim pass this way, but he will pray for both our souls. And anon Sir Balin died, but Sir Balin died not till the midnight after, and then they were both buried. On the morrow of their death came Merlin, and took Sir Balin's sword, and fixed on a new pommel, and set it in a mighty stone, which then by magic he made float upon the water. And so for many years it floated to and fro around the island, till it swam down the river to Camelot, where young Sir Galahad achieved it, as shall be told hereafter. I thought it was the Sword of Strange Hanging! I knew it! So Galahad's been known to have two swords too. One of them is called the Sword of Strange Hanging, which I guess is this one, which I know he pulled from a rock, so I know some things. The other's a holy sword of some variety. Belonged to a holy man. I can't remember which. Beep. Sort of bad vibes, yes. However, is it not a bit early for Galahad? Is Galahad not Lancelot's child? So, like, is it not very early? The sword of bad taste in bread. So chapter 6. I know Roman numerals. The marriage of King Arthur and Queen Guinevere, and the founding of the Round Table, and the adventure of the Hart and Hound. Just adjusting. I also should take another drink because the drama dries my throat out. Square table? Square table? Why would it ever be a square table? Oh, she's out of hot water. Sad. Rightio! It befell upon a certain day that King Arthur said to Merlin, my lords and knights do daily pray me now to take a wife, but I will have none without thy counsel, for thou hast ever helped me since I first came to this crown. Merlin, you're basically like my dad. Please approve a wife for me. It is well, said Merlin, that thou shouldest take a wife, for no man of bounteous and noble nature should live without one. But is there any lady whom thou lovest better than another? Yea, said King Arthur. I love Guinevere, the daughter of King Leo de Grance of Camelgard, who also holdeth in his house the round table that he had from my father Uther. And as I think that damsel is the gentlest and fairest lady living. And if I might continue thusly unemployed, 'twould be a boon to pursue my own devices. Alas, mine savings shall scarce endure 2 months hence, compelling me to seek employment anew. Yes, capitalism gets to us all eventually. It is sad. I do hope for the best for you. I hope employment finds you soon, and I hope you find some good employment, some nice employment, some fun employment. Or some employment that doesn't make you hate going every day. Sorry I'm late. I got stuck in a time loop. Wait, wrong stream. A wizard cursed me. Aww. Well, I'm glad you managed to figure out a way out of the curse. That's good. Sir, answered Merlin, as for her beauty, she is one of the fairest that do live. But if ye had not loved her as ye do, I would fain have yet had ye chose some other who Sir, answered Merlin, as for her beauty, she is one of the fairest that do live. But if ye had not loved her as ye do, I would fain have had ye choose some other who was both fair and good. But where a man's heart is set, he will be loath to leave. This Merlin said, knowing the misery that should hereafter happen from this marriage. Then King Arthur sent word to King Leo de Grance that he mightily desired to wed his daughter, and how that he had loved her since he saw her first. When the king's ban and boars he rescued Leo de Grance from the king rights of North Wales. When King Leo de Grance heard the message, he cried out, "These be the best tidings I have heard in all my life. So great and worshipful a prince to seek my daughter as for his wife. I would fain give him half my lands with her straight away, but that he needeth none. And better it will please him that I send him the round table of King Uther, his father, with 100 good knights toward the furnishing of it with guests, for he will soon find means to gather more, and make the table full." Then King Leo de Grance delivered his daughter Guinevere and the messengers of King Arthur, and also the round table with 100 knights. So the round table was a dowry. I see. Honestly, there are a lot of kings going around. Kind of makes you wonder what stops anyone from calling themselves king. Especially in this time, yeah, 100%. Then King Leo de Grance delivered his daughter with the round table. So they rode royally and freshly, sometimes by water and sometimes by land, toward Camelot. And as they rode along the spring weather, they made full many sports and pastimes. And in all those sports and games, a young knight lately come to Arthur's court, Sir Lancelot by name, was passing strong, and won praise from all, being full of grace and hardihood. And Guinevere also ever looked on him with joy, had always in the eventide, when the tents were set beside some stream or forest, many minstrels came and sang before the knight and ladies as they sat in the tent doors, and many knights would tell adventures, and still Sir Lancelot was foremost, and told the knightliest tales and sang the goodliest songs of all the company. What we're saying is he has riz. Lancelot has riz. I shall repose whilst I hearken to your recitation. Mine eyes close as I lie abed. You've done a big job with the CV. You deserve some rest, Doppel. You chill out. I will read you a bedtime story. And when they came to Camelot, King Arthur made great joy, and all the city with him. And riding forth with a great retinue, he met Guinevere and her company, and led her through the streets all filled with people, and in the midst of all their shoutings and the ringing of church bells, to a palace hard by his own. Then, in all haste, the king commanded to prepare the marriage and the coronation with the stateliest and most honourable pomp that could ever be made. And when the day was come, the archbishops led the king to the cathedral, whereto he walked clad in his royal robes, and having 4 kings bearing 4 golden swords before him, a choir passing sweet music going also with him. In another part was the queen dressed in her richest ornaments, and led by archbishops and bishops to the chapel of the virgins. The 4 queens also of the 4 kings last mentioned walked before her, bearing 4 white doves, according to ancient custom. And after her there followed many damsels singing and making every sign of joy. And when the 2 processions were come to the churches, so wondrous was the music and the singing, that all the knights and barons who were there pressed on each other, as the crowd battle, to hear and see the most they might. When the king was crowned, he called together all the knights that came with the round table from Camelgard, and 28 others, great and valiant men, chosen by Merlin out of the realm, towards making up the full number of the round table. Then the Archbishop of Canterbury blessed the seats of all the knights, and when they rose again, were formed to pay their homage to King Arthur, there were found upon the back of each knight's seat his name, written in letters of gold. But upon one seat was found written, "This is the Siege Perilous, wherein if any man shall sit, save him who heaven hath chosen, he shall be devoured by fire." Anon came young Gawain. Oh, little Gawainy poo. The king's nephew, praying to be made a knight, who the king knighted then and there. Soon after came a poor man, leading with him a tall fair lad of 18 years of age, riding on a lean mare. And falling at his king's feet, the poor man said, "Lord, it was told to me that at this time of thy marriage thou wouldst give any man the gift he asked for, so it were not unreasonable." "That is the truth," replied King Arthur, "and I will make it good." "Thou sayest graciously and nobly," said the poor man. "Lord, I ask nothing else, but thou wilt make my son here a knight." "It is a great thing that thou askest," said the king. "What is thy name?" "Ares the coward," answered he. "Cometh this prayer from thee or thy son?" inquired King Arthur. "Nay, lord, not from myself," he said, "but from him only, for I have 13 other sons, and all of them will fall to any labour that I put them to, but this one will do no such work for anything that I or my wife may do, but is ever shooting or fighting and running to see, knights and joustings and tournaments, me both night and day that he be made a knight." "What is thy name?" said the king to the young man. "My name is Tor," said he. Then the king, looking at him steadfastly, was well pleased with his face and figure, and with his look of nobleness and strength. "Fetch all thy other sons before me," said the king to Ares, but when he brought them, none of them resembled Tor in size or shape. Yeah, I thought Arthur was already crowned too, but apparently not. He was a king, but he wasn't crowned? I have no idea. Tor the Onion Knight! Then the king knighted Tor, saying, "Be thou to thy life's end a good knight and a true, as I pray to God thou mayest be. And if thou provest worthy and of prowess one day, thou shalt be counted in the round table." Then turning to Merlin, Arthur said, "Prophesy now, O Merlin, shall Sir Tor be a worthy knight or not?" They are all mid. Absolutely mid, sons. "Yes, lord," said Merlin. "So he ought to be, for he is the son of that King Pellinore, whom thou hast met, and proved to be one of the best knights living. He is no coward's son." Presently after came in King Pellinore, and when he saw Sir Tor, he knew him. I think Sir Tor's mother has some explaining to do. And when he saw Tor, he knew him for his son, and was more pleased than words can tell to find him knighted by the king. And Pellinore did homage to King Arthur, and was gladly and graciously accepted of the king, and then was led by Merlin to a high seat at the round table, near to the Pelorus seat. Pelorus seat. Pelorus, as in peril. But Sir Gawain was full of anger at the honour done King Pellinore, and said to his brother Gaheris, "He slew our father, King Lot, therefore I will slay him." "Gawain, calm your tits, bro." "Do it not yet," he said. "Wait till I also be a knight, then I will help ye in it. It is best ye suffer him to go at this time, and not trouble his high feast with bloodshed." So King Pellinore knew Tor was his son, but never bothered to knight. He didn't know he had Tor as a son, but then suddenly could upon meeting him? I don't know. It's a weird one. As ye will, be it, said Sir Gawain. Then rose the king and spake to all speak. I don't think that was a word back then, let alone now. To all the round table, and charged them to be ever true and noble knights, to do neither outrage nor murder, nor any unjust violence, and always to flee treason. Also by no means ever to be cruel, but to give mercy unto himself that asked for mercy, upon pain of forfeiting the liberty of his court for evermore. Moreover, at all times, on pain of death, to give all succour unto ladies and young damsels. At lastly, never to take part in any wrongful quarrels for reward or payment. And to all this he swore them night by night. Yeah, I'm speaking to you. Then he ordained that every year at Pentecost they should all come before him, wheresoever he might appoint a place, and give account of all their doings and adventures of the past 12-month. And so, with prayer and blessing, and high words of cheer,
he instituted the most noble order of the Round Table, whereto the best and bravest knights in all the world sought afterwards to find admission. He made the Boys' Club. Then was the high feast made ready, and the king and queen sat side by side, before the whole assembly, and great and royal the banquet, and the pomp. The pomp! You don't understand, the pomp! The pomp, the circumstance! And as they sat, each man in his place, Merlin went round and said, Sit a while, for ye shall see a strange and marvellous adventure. So, as they sat, there suddenly came running through the hall a white hart, with a white hound next after him, and 30 couple of black running hounds making full cry. And the hart made a circuit of the Round Table, and past the other tables, and suddenly the white hound flew upon him, and bit him fiercely, and tore out a piece from his haunch. Whereat the hart sprang suddenly with a great leap, and overthrew a knight sitting at the table, who rose forthwith, and, taking up the hound, mounted and rode fast away. What? It's a hart. I assume a hart is a kind of bunny rabbit? Maybe? But no sooner had he left than there came in a lady mounted on a white palfrey, who cried out to the king, Lord, suffer me not to have this injury. The hound is mine, which that knight taketh. And as she spake, a knight rode in all armed on a great horse, and suddenly took up the lady and rode away with her by force, though she greatly cried and So, you're having a banquet, and in runs what? A hart is a male deer. Okay. So, a deer runs in, chased by a bunch of rather large dogs. One of the dogs manages to catch it, and a guy in your hall stands up and rides the dog to go after the deer. Then a woman comes in, and she's like, that's my dog. Bro, he stole my dog. And then a man comes in after her and just kidnaps her in front of all of the knights of the Round Table, and not one person got up to help. What is going on? Then the king desired Sir Gawain, Sir Tor, and King Pellinore to mount and follow this adventure to the uttermost, and told Sir Gawain to bring back the hart, Sir Tor, the hound, and knight, and King Pellinore, the knight, and the lady. He said yoinketh, and verily she was yoinked. Verily so. So Sir Gawain rode forth at a swift pace, and with him Gaheris his brother for a squire. And as they went, they saw 2 knights fighting on horseback, and when they reached them, they divided them as they asked the reason for their quarrel. We fight for a foolish matter, one replied, for we be brethren. But there came by a white hart this way, chased by many hounds, and thinking it was an adventure for the high feast of King Arthur, I would have followed it to have gained worship, whereat my younger brother here declared he was the better knight, and would go after it instead, and so we fight to prove which one is the better knight. Siblings, bro. At least they admit it. This is a foolish thing, said Sir Gawain. Fight with all strangers if ye, but not brother with brother. Take my advice, set on against me, and if ye yield to me, as I shall do my best to make ye, ye shall go to King Arthur, and yield to his grace. Sir Knight, replied the brothers, we are weary, and will do thy wish without encountering thee. But by whom shall we tell the king we were sent? By the knight that followeth the quest for the white hart, said Sir Gawain. Now tell me your names, and let us depart. Solrus and Brian of the Forest, they replied, and so they went their way to the king's court. Good old Brian and Solrus the Forest. Solrus sounds like a good name for a forest guy. Brian just sounds like a lazy name, really, doesn't it? I mean, who would be called Brian? Brian? They both sound like lazy names. Then Sir Gawain, still following his quest by the distant baying of the hounds, came to a great river, and saw the hart swimming over and near the further bank. And as he was about to plunge in and swim after, he saw a knight upon the other side, who cried, Come not over here, Sir Knight, after that hart, save thou wilt joust with me. I will not fail for that, said Sir Gawain, and swam his horse across the stream. Solrus, cool fancy name, Brian, lives down the street and drinks too much. His father got tired after naming his first son. Yup. Anon they got their spears, and ran against each other fiercely. And Sir Gawain smote the stranger off his horse, and turning bade him yield. Nay, he replied, not so. For though ye have the better of me on horseback, I pray thee, valiant knight, alight, and let us match together with our swords on foot. What is thy name? Quoth Gawain. Quoth Aladdin, not quite Aladdin, Aladdin of the Isles. The Isle of Man? Probably, replied the stranger. Then they fell on each other, but soon Sir Gawain struck him through the helm, so deeply and so hard that his brains were scattered, and Sir Aladdin fell dead. Ah, said Gaheris, that was a mighty stroke for a young knight. You blew his mind, Gawain. Then did they turn again to follow the white hart, and let slip 3 couple of greyhounds after him, and at the last they chased him to a castle, and there they overtook and slew him in the chief courtyard. At that there rushed a knight forth from a chamber, with a drawn sword in his hand, and slew the 2 of the hounds before their eyes, and chased the others from the castle. O my white hart! Alas, that thou art dead, for thee my sovereign lady giveth to me, and evil have kept thee, and evil I have kept thee. But if I live, thy death shall be dear brought. Anon he went within, and armed, came out fiercely, and met Sir Gawain face to face. Why have ye slain my hounds? Said Sir Gawain. They killed the dogs, bro. Warning, they killed the dogs. They did, but after their nature, and ye had better have taken vengeance upon me than the poor dumb beasts. I will avenge me on thee also, said the other, ere thou depart this place. Then did they fight with each other savagely and madly, till the blood ran down to their feet. But at last Sir Gawain had the better, and felled the knight of the castle to the ground. Then he cried out for mercy, and yielded to Sir Gawain, and besought him, as he was a knight and gentleman, to save his life. Thou shalt die, said Sir Gawain, for slaying my hounds. Gawain and John Wick having something in common. I will make thee amends within my power, replied the knight. But Sir Gawain would have no mercy, and unlaced his helm to strike his head off. So blind was he with rage, that he saw not where a lady ran out from her chamber, and fell upon his enemy. And making a fierce blow at him, he smote by mischance the lady's head. Oh my! Alas, cried Gaheris, foully and shamefully have ye done. The shame shall never leave ye. Why give ye not your mercy unto them that ask it? A knight without mercy is without worship also. Then Sir Gawain was sore amazed at that fair lady's death, and knew not what to do, and said to the fallen knight, Arise, for I will give thee mercy. Nay, nay, he said, I care not for thy mercy now, for thou hast slain my lady and my love, that of all earthly things I loved the best. I repent me sorely of it, said Sir Gawain, for I meant to have struck thee. But now shalt thou go to King Arthur and tell him of this adventure, and how thou hast been overcome by the knight that followeth the quest of the White Hart. Howdy. Gawain is 100% a knight failure. In every adventure, he is a knight failure. Gawain when he prepares to smote his enemy. Gawain when a fair maiden rushes out and slays. I care not whether I live or die or where I go, replied the knight. So Sir Gawain sent him to the court to Camelot, making him bear one dead greyhound before and one behind him on his horse. Tell me thy name before we part, said he. My name is Athmore of the Marsh, he answered even. Then, when Sir Gawain came to the castle and prepared to sleep there, and began to unarm, but Gaheris unbraided him, saying, Will ye disarm this strange country? Bethink, ye must needs have many enemies about. No sooner had he spoken than there came out suddenly 4 knights, well armed, and assailed them hard, saying to Sir Gawain, Thou new-made knight, how hast thou shamed thy knighthood? A knight without mercy is dishonour. Slayer of fair ladies, shame to thee evermore. Doubt not thou shalt thyself have need of mercy ere we leave thee. Then were the brothers in great jeopardy, and feared for their lives, for they were but 2 to 4, and weary with travelling. And one of the 4 knights shot Sir Gawain with a bolt, and hit him through the arm, so that he could fight no more. But when there was nothing left for them but death, there came 4 ladies forth, and prayed the 4 knights mercy for the strangers. So they gave Sir Gawain and Gaheris their lives, and made them yield themselves prisoners. Posture check! How dare you? Ugh. Fine, I am sitting straight. Gawain may have been a knight failure, but he was really hot when Dev Patel played. That was a wild, wild movie when Dev Patel played him in the Green Knight, so it all leans out. Gawain is pretty, that much we can say for sure. He was pretty. Don't forget to hydrate. Fine, I'll do that too. There. Funnier title, King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Bed. Oh my. Loot. On the morrow came one of the ladies to Sir Gawain, and talked to him, saying, Sir Knight, what cheer? Not good, said he. It is your own default, sir, said the lady, for ye have done a passing foul deed in slaying that fair damsel yesterday, and ever shall it be great shame to you. But ye be not of King Arthur's kin? Yea, I truly am, said he. My name is Gawain, son of King Lot of Orkney, whom King Pellinore slew, and my brother Bellicent is half sister to the king. When the lady heard that, she went and presently got leave for him to quit the castle, and they gave him the head of the White Hart to take with him. Basically, Gawain gets through this from nepotism. Gawain's a nepo baby. I remember watching King Arthur cartoon a long time ago. Because it was in his quest, but made him also carry the dead lady with him. Her head hung round his neck, and her body lay before him on his horse. Oh lordy. Gawain, the original nepo baby. Not sure original, but definitely one of the oldest. The only King Arthur cartoon I remember was Sword and Stone. Sword and Stone was great. I loved that movie. So, in that fashion, he rode back to Camelot, and when the king and queen saw him, and heard tell of his adventures, they were heavily displeased, and, by the order of the queen, he was put upon his trial before a court of ladies, who judged him to be evermore for his life and the knight of ladies' quarrels. For his life, the knight of ladies' quarrels, and to fight always on their side, and never against any, except he fought for one lady, and his adversary for another. Also they charged him never to refuse mercy to him that asked it, and swore him to the holy gospels. Thus ended the adventure of the White Hart. Oh, hey Dears, welcome back. Lol. So basically, he was like, Gawain, you are now the knight of ladies. You will defend all the ladies. Meanwhile, Sir Tor had made him ready, and followed the knight who rode away with the hound, and as he went there, suddenly met him in the road a dwarf, who struck his horse so viciously upon the head with a great staff that he leapt backwards a spear's length. Gawain the original. Gawain is sentenced to be a feminist. I wouldn't call him the original one. But, like, I wouldn't even call him originally a feminist. He was just sentenced to be a feminist. I now sentence you a feminist. I don't have something heavy enough to be a gavel. That'll do. Wherefore so smitest thou my horse, foul dwarf? Shouted Sir Tor. Because thou shalt not pass this way, replied the dwarf, unless thou fight for it with yonder knights in those pavilions, pointing to 2 tents, where 2 great spears stood out, and 2 shields hung upon 2 trees hard by. I may not tarry, for I am on a quest. I needs must follow, said Sir Tor. Thou shalt not pass, replied the dwarf, and therewith blew his horn. He then rode out quickly at Sir Tor, one armed on horseback. But Sir Tor was quick as he, and riding at him, bore him from his horse, and made him yield. Directly after came another, still more fiercely, but with few great strokes and buffets, Sir Tor unhorsed him also, and sent them both to Camelot to King Arthur. I love this, like, okay, I kicked your butt, you gotta go say hi to my king now, bye. Is that how it worked? Is it like in Pokemon, you have to weaken them, and then you capture them by sending them to the king, and then that's how King Arthur gets lots more knights? To King Arthur then came the dwarf, and begged Sir Tor to take him in his service. For, he said, I will serve no more recreant knights. Take then a horse, and come with me, said Tor. Ride ye after the knight with the white hound, said the dwarf. I can soon bring him ye where he is. So they rode through the forest, till they came to 2 more tents. And Sir Tor, alighting, went into the first, and saw 3 damsels lie there, sleeping. Then went he to the other, and found another lady also sleeping, and at her feet the white hound he sought for, which instantly began to bay and bark so loudly that the lady woke. But Sir Tor had seized the hound, and given it to the dwarf's charge. What will ye do, Sir Knight? Cried out the lady. Will ye take away my hound from me by force? Yea, lady, said Sir Tor, for I must, having the king's command, and I have followed it from King Arthur's court at Camelot to this place. Well, said the lady, ye will not go far before be ill handled, and will repent ye of this quest. I shall cheerfully abide whatsoever adventure cometh by the grace of God, said Tor, and so mounted his horse and began to ride back on his way. But night coming on, he turned aside to a hermitage that was in the forest, and there abode till the next day, making but sorrowful cheer of such poor food as the hermit had to give him, and hearing mass devoutly before he left on the morrow. And in the early morning, as he rode forth with the dwarf towards Camelot, he heard a knight call loudly after him, Turn! Turn! Abide, Sir Knight, and yield me up the hound thou tookest from my lady. At which he turned and saw a great and strong knight, armed full splendidly, riding down upon him fiercely, though a glade of the forest. Why are you taking my dog, good sir? 'Cause the king said so. But he's my dog! Is this not the lady that got kidnapped? Who said it was her dog? I'm so confused what happened with this dog. This little damsel got married. This little damsel was smited by Gawain. And this little damsel ran wee 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 all the way home. Now Sir Tor was very ill provided, for he had but an old courser, which was as weak as himself. Because of the hermitage's scanty fare, he waited nevertheless for the strange knight to come, and at the first onset with their spears each unhorsed the other, and then fell to with their swords like 2 mad lions. Then did they smite through one another's shields and helmets till the fragments flew on all sides, and their blood ran out in streams. But yet they carved and rove through the thick armour of the hauberks, and gave each other great and ghastly wounds. But in the end Sir Tor, finding the strange knight faint, doubled his strokes until he beat him to the earth. Then he did bid him yield to his mercy. That I will not, replied Abellius, whose name we have only just discovered. That's okay, Doppel, you have a nice nap. Like I said, it's a bedtime story. I'm reading you bedtime stories. You can have a nap. He's okay. While my life hasteth and my soul in my body, unless thou give me first the hound. I cannot, said Sir Tor, and I will not, for it was my quest to bring again that hound and thee unto King Arthur, or otherwise to slay thee. With that there came a damsel riding on a palfrey, as fast as she could drive, and cried out to Tor with a loud voice, I pray thee, for King Arthur's love, give me a gift. Ask, said Sir Tor, and I will give thee. Gramercy, said the lady, I ask the head of this false knight Abellius, the most outrageous murderer that liveth. I repent me of the gift I promised, said Sir Tor. Let him make thee amends for all his trespasses against thee. He cannot make amends, replied the damsel, for he hath slain my brother, a far better knight than he, and scorned to give him mercy, though I kneeled for half an hour before him in the mire, to beg it, and though it was out, it was but by a chance they fought, and for no former injury or quarrel. I require my gift of thee, a true knight, or else I will shame thee in King Arthur's court, for this Abellius is the false knight alive, and a murderer of many. When Abellius heard this, he trembled greatly, and was sore afraid, and yielded to Sir Tor, and prayed his mercy. I cannot now, Sir Knight, said he, lest I be false to my promise. Ye would not take my mercy when I offered it, and now it is too late. Therewith he unlaced his helmet and took it off, but Abellius in dismissal fierce struggled to his feet and fled, until Sir Tor overtook him, and then had to delete a bot from Twitch, and then continue reading the story, and smote his head entirely with one blow. Now, sir, said the damsel, it is near night. I pray ye come lodge at my castle hard by. I will, with a good will, said he, for both his horse and he had fared but poorly since they left Camelot. So he went to the lady's castle and fared scrumptiously, and saw her husband, an old knight, who greatly thanked him for his service, and urged him oftentimes to come again. But suddenly they're okay with him stealing their dog. What is going on? This book makes no sense. This book makes no sense. But that's okay. On the morrow he departed, and reached Camelot by noon, where the king and queen rejoiced to see him, and the king made him earl, and Merlin prophesied that these adventures were but little to the things he should achieve hereafter. Now, while Gawain and Sir Tor had fulfilled their quests, King Pellinore pursued the lady whom the knight had seized away from the wedding feast. Oh, okay, so the lady he came across was not the same as the lady that had been kidnapped. We're going after the kidnapped lady now. Good. And as he rode through the woods, he saw in a valley a fair young damsel sitting by a well side, and a wounded knight laying in her arms. And King Pellinore saluted her as he passed by. As soon as she perceived him, she cried out, Help! Help me, knight, for our Lord's sake! But Pellinore was far too eager in his quest to stay or turn, although she cried 100 times to him for help, at which she prayed to heaven he might have such sore need before he died as she had now. And presently hereafter her knight died in her arms, and she for grief and love slew herself with his sword. Apparently that's a thing that women do at this point in time. But King Pellinore rode on till he met a poor man, and asked him if he had seen a knight pass but that way, leading by force a lady with him. Yea, surely, said the man, and greatly did she moan, cry, But even now another knight is fighting with him to deliver the lady. Ride on, and thou shalt find them fighting still. At that King Pellinore rode swiftly on, and came to where he saw the two knights fighting, hard by where two pavilions stood. And when he looked in one of them, he saw the lady that was his quest, and with her the two squires of the knights who fought. Fair lady, said he, ye must cometh with me unto Arthur's court. Sir knight. Sir knight, said the two squires, yonder be two knights fighting for this lady. Go part them, and get their consent to take her, ere thou touch her. She is a woman, and has no autonomy, so you have to ask the gentleman that if you're allowed to take her or not. Ye say well, said King Pellinore, and rode between the combatants, and asked them why they fought. Sir knight, said one of them, yon lady is my cousin, mine aunt's daughter, whom I met borne away against her will by this knight here, and with whom I therefore fight to free her. Sir knight, replied the other, whose name was Hanslake of Wentland. This lady got I by my arms and prowess at King Arthur's court today. That is false, said King Pellinore. Ye stole the lady suddenly and fled away with her, before any knight could arm to stay thee. But it is my service to take her back again. Neither of ye shall therefore have her. But if ye will fight for her, fight me now. And here, why doesn't the cousin just, come with him to Camelot and be like, hey, can I take my cuz? And Arthur would be like, well, she's safe, good, okay, go home. Well, said the knights, make ready, and we will assail thee with all our might. It is strange that so many would off themselves with someone else's sword willingly. They seem completely unable to help themselves if they become despondent. Yeah, I mean, they're women. Obviously, they can't live without their man, right? I mean, they're women. It's that kind of sexism, bro. It's that kind of sexism. It's just the way of the knight. It's the knightly way. The damsel way. You see, Sir Knights, they have their codes, but what you don't know is the damsels have their codes too. And the damsel code is that you must murder yourself if your knight dies. There is Guinevere, the queen of damsels, and she has the damsel knitting club. Or the damsel sewing club, probably not knitting so much at this point, but the damsel sewing club where they get together, the best damsels in the realm, and they sew together and have a meeting about the knights. Where clearly they don't talk about themselves, because that would be like feminism, so they talk about the men, obviously. Someone must be in distress at all times. Yes, how are the knights gonna knight if the damsels don't damsel? They gotta get organized with this shit. Especially if they're killing themselves a lot. Then Sir Hansicle ran Pellinore's horse through with his sword, so that they might be all alike on foot. But King Pellinore at that was passing wroth, and ran upon Sir Hanselic with a cry, Keep well thy head. And I know, right? It was a bit mean on the horse there. And gave him such a stroke, the helm, and clove him to the chin, so that he fell dead to the ground. When he saw that the other knight refused to fight, and kneeling down said, Take my cousin and lady with thee, as thy quest is, but as thou art a true knight, suffer her to come to neither shame nor harm. So the next day King Pellinore departed for Camelot, and took the lady with him. As they rode in a valley full of rough stones, the damsel's horse stumbled and threw her, so that her arms were sorely bruised and hurt. And as they rested in the forest for the pain to lessen, night came on, and there they were compelled to make their lodgings. A little before midnight they heard the trotting of a horse. "Be ye still," said King Pellinore, "for now we may hear of some adventure." And therewith he armed him. Then he heard two knights meet and salute each other in the dark, one riding from Camelot, the other from the north. "What tidings at Camelot?" said one. "By my head," said the other, "I have just left there, and had espied King Arthur's court, and such a fellowship is there as never may be broke or overcome, for well nigh all the chivalry of the world is there, and all full loyal to the knight, to the king, and now I ride back homewards to the north, to tell our chiefs that they waste not their strength in wars against them." Imagine being a damsel that wasn't sure if she was helpless enough to offer herself, so she accidentally learned to become self-sufficient and strong and ends up becoming the queen. This sounds like a wonderful story, and I'm actually gonna like copy and paste your comment and your name, so if I ever do write this, then it's there. But I'm making a note of that because I very much like that idea. I love that. 10 out of 10. It feels like one of those isekai ones, like very much in the same vein as Bookworm and things like that. A princess that slays, if you will. Slay. Called dibs on having a court named after me. Where was I? I got distracted. Yum yum. "As for all that," replied the other knight, "I am but now from the north, and bear with me a remedy, the deadliest poison that was ever heard tell of, and to Camelot will I with it, for there we have a friend close to the king, and greatly cherished of him, who hath received gifts from us to poison him, as he hath promised soon to do." Oh no. "Beware," said the first knight of Merlin, "for he knoweth all things by the devil's craft." "I will not fear for that," replied the other, and so rode away. Anon King Pellinore and the lady passed on again, and when they came to the well at which the lady with the wounded knight had sat, they found both knight and damsel utterly devoured by lions and wild beasts, all save the lady's head. When King Pellinore saw that, he wept bitterly, saying, "Alas! I might have saved her life, but had I tarried a few moments in my quest. Wherefore makes so much sorrow now?" said the lady. "I know not," answered he, "but my heart grieveth greatly for this poor lady's death, for so fair was she was, and young." Then he required a hermit to bury the remains of the bodies, and bear the lady's head with him to Camelot to court. When he was arrived, he was sworn to tell the truth of his quest before the king and queen, and when he had, the queen somewhat unupbraided him, saying, "Ye were much to blame that ye saved not that lady's life." "Ma'am," said he, "I shall repent it all my life." "Ay, king," quoth Merlin, who suddenly came in, "and so ye ought to do, for that lady was your daughter, not since infancy by thee." King Pellinore with all the secret kids! King Pegador. "And she was on her way to court with a right good young knight, who would have been her husband, but was slain by treachery of a felon knight Lorraine the Savage, as they came, and because thou wouldest not abide her help, thy best friend shall fail thee in thine hour of greatest need, for such is the penance ordained thee for that deed. Then did King Pellinore tell Merlin secretly of the treason he had heard in the forest, and Merlin by his craft so ordered that the knight who bare the poison was himself soon after slain by it, and so King Arthur's life was saved. I may have to stop that. Oh no, we've only got one more page? Where are we up to? Oh, okay, we're at the right. King Arthur and Sir Accolon of Gaul. That's Welsh. That's 100% Welsh. I didn't know if I should off myself or not, and accidentally learned to become a self-sufficient woman and became queen. And now I have 100 hot knights trying to win my hand in marriage. Season 1. Correct. Mr. Colon. Mr. Colon will have to wait. Probably not next week, because I'm reading SCP next week. But the week after, we'll get back to the legends of King Arthur. But for now, that is all I have for you. I will be back tomorrow, where we will be going through everything I read in 2025. And I don't know, just chatting about it. It'll be fun. It's 30-something slides so far. Thank you for coming, Des. It's great to have you. Thank you for coming, everyone. Thank you, everyone in chat. Thank you, anyone who lurked. Thank you, anyone who watches the VOD. I really appreciate you coming, and I hope you had a good time, regardless. Inspiring to read more. Yes! That's the point of the channel. To read more. Reading is hard, but we do it. Because we find cool things to read about. But anyway. Pompeii is at least 25. I didn't even finish the Pompeii book. So, that one didn't even make it onto the slideshow. Also planning to write more. Yes, write more in your journal. I need to do more journaling too. Hey, if I do more journaling, you promise to do more journaling, I'll do more journaling, if you do more journaling, and then between us, we'll do more journaling. Gotta do it for the feelings. You have lots of feelings. Didn't even finish Pompeii. I know! So much! Anyway, I had fun. Hope you had fun. If you have not already, subscribe. If you're on Twitch, do the follow. Helps with memory for you. Cool. I didn't think about that one as a benefit, but that's very fun. If you've done all that, get your ass on Discord. If you've done that, I do post on the Blue Sky. And I think that's all of the free supporting. If you have, you know, a bit of cash to spend, you're like, hey, what if I did the thing? What if I wanted to support in some way? You can. If you liked me reading, I have an audiobook that I recorded called My Name's Princess Case. That's on Audible. There is my books, which you can get in any good book retailer, really. Online book retailer, maybe not your local one. Although you could ask your local one to... The Discord link in the description is dead. Poo boo. You should be able to do the magical... exclamation mark Discord. I think that should work. Yeah, there we go. That one should work. Got some money for Christmas? Why? Send you your favorite British baker blonde VTuber. Yeah! But if you don't, that's also okay. Whatever. And like, there's membership and Patreon where you get to vote on things I can stream, and God, I'm struggling with the shilling today. There's links in the description to many places, and you should check them all out. I'm gonna leave it at that. But for now, for now. Hello. I had fun. I hope you had fun. This has been Brady Westmith, live in the Library.